Hey guys, welcome back to Dip Switch Demos. Today we're going to be checking out two really eye-catching guitars from Ancoats Guitars. Ancoats Guitars is a small, custom builder of guitars from Manchester, my favourite city in the whole world, where I live about 15 minutes from. And he's building, as you can see, some really interesting designs, unique designs that, he's really thought about from the ground up. Here we have the new Islington Rocket and the NQ, which if you know Manchester, you'll know is the northern quarter, which is a really cool part of town. Almost everything on this guitar is from Manchester, or at least in the north of England, from the north of England. And that's all the way from the pickups, which are creamery pickups across the board, out of Manchester, all the way to the paint, which is, I believe actually like a house paint company called Little Green, again, sort of out of the Manchester area. Talking of the paint, this is a really sort of interesting selling point of Ancoats Guitars. He can offer any Little Green paint shade and paint colour. There are over 200 colours that you can pick from. Dave Ancoats has picked about 10 of his favourites, but really you can have anything you like. This here, as I said earlier, is the NQ, and for me this is the most interesting design out of the two. Body shape wise, we have a mix between, I don't know, a Jazzmaster, Firebird, SG, there's some Burns vibes going on here as well. It's a really, really interesting guitar with some interesting lines as well. As you can see, there's actually quite a lot of symmetry in the body shape. We have a Trev Wilkinson sort of sawn-off ashtray bridge with brass saddles that really make this a zingy, lively guitar. Along with the wood choices, the body wood is Obeshi, I believe, which is an incredibly light wood. When I picked up this guitar for the first time, it almost flew out of my hand. I would reckon this is under £6. I don't know that for sure, but it is definitely on that borderline. We have a maple neck and a rosewood fingerboard. Really nice choices of wood here, and he's sort of left them sort of open pore, I guess is the word. You can really feel the grain of the wood, which won't be everyone's cup of tea, but it's nice to sort of feel the raw material sometimes with certain guitars, and definitely pays off with this. The neck shape is also really interesting, and sort of across the whole brand, he goes for quite a flat D-shape style neck shape. It's not as thin as maybe an Ibanez. It's a little chunkier than an Ibanez type neck, but it is very, very flat. And it took me a while to sort of get used to, and Dave tells me that's sort of his personal preference of neck shape. And you know what? Now I'm sort of used to this neck shape, it's really nice to play. Some really nice Clusson tuners at the top, and let's talk about that pickup. This is a Creamery dark line pickup, a really interesting pickup. It is a single coil pickup. To me, it's quite a spiky, aggressive sounding pickup, maybe halfway between a Strat bridge pickup and a Jazzmaster type pickup, but with a bit more oomph and output. Really designed for aggressive post-rock, post-modern punk music. Really in your face, works really nicely with some fuzz. I played it with a bit of a Big Muff style fuzz, and it's just incredible. It really cuts through whatever you're playing. On the cleaner side of things, it's a very spiky sounding pickup, but not in an unpleasant way. Even cleaner, it's going to cut through a mix. It really sounds like a pickup that's been designed to be heard in a thick wall of sound type band. This guitar in particular feels like there are a lot of songs in it. Out of the two guitars here, this is probably the one I've played the least, but when I have played it, it's been the one that's inspired me the most, if that makes sense. A really unique instrument that I've actually come to really love. Not to mention this crazy pickguard design, which is just half batwing, half Burns type thing. Really cool. Next up is the new Islington Rocket. This is such an eye-catching guitar. On Instagram, loads of you guys commented on how beautiful this guitar looks, and some of the choices here, some of the little details are really cool. You can tell that it's just Ancoats, David Ancoats, just his mind tinkering away in his little workshop, kind of adding bits, taking bits away to finally come to this really unique design that for me is half Rickenbacker, half Les Paul Jr. I don't know what else. It's just super cool, and he's ended up with something really unique. Obviously, we have this really nice German carve on the body, which I think sets off the body really nice. It makes it feel quite small. It's quite a small feeling guitar, and then we have this sort of multi-section pickguard with these wings that I think looks so cool. We have slightly different woods here as well. We have a swamp ash body, so it's a bit of a heavier guitar compared to the NQ, but still in the lighter range of things, especially for a swamp ash guitar. We have some really interesting neck woods as well. As you can see, the fretboard is a slightly odd colour. He assures me though that this is rosewood, but it's clearly just a really interesting piece of rosewood. The back is sapele, which again is a really interesting sort of maybe a mahogany substitute type of wood. Feels really nice to me, really helps the guitar sing. Both of these guitars, and in fact all the guitars in his range, are also set necks, which is really interesting for a small builder. Often, you know, these little builders are doing bolt-on necks, and just having a set neck design is something a little different. They're also both 25.5-inch scale length, although I was surprised when he told me that because they both feel quite compact and small and comfortable to play. So there's a lot going on with this guitar. Carrying on, we have the same type of Clusson tuners, but this time they are locking. We have a Duesenberg, is it called a Le Trem? Interesting tremolo system that I've not spent a lot of time with before. It's got a really wide sweep if you want it to, a really wide vibrato, but just using it subtly, it's really, really tasteful and lovely. And again, creamery pickups across the board. Some really interesting choices here. This is their PAF style pickup, just with a gold foil cover, and then a Filtertron style pickup as well, which I really like in the neck position. So I urge you to go check out Ancoats Guitars. As if you go on his website, it's clear to see that there are a ton of options, and you can really spec out an interesting guitar that is unique and completely your own. Personally myself, I could see myself specking out something similar to this, maybe with a baritone scale length. That could be really interesting, something I might consider in the future. And, you know, I just love the vibe. It reminds me of the early Fidelity guitars that I played maybe 5 years ago. It's got a similar sort of vibe. You can tell he's still figuring a few things out, and really that's some of where the magic is with these guitars.